What the Daily Mail is pushing today is yet another calculated attempt to take an 8-year-old engagement interview and squeeze from it a brand new indictment of Meghan Markle, as if the public hasn't already been fed this narrative 1,000 times. This latest reinvention claims that Meghan's posture, gestures, facial expressions, and even the way she breathed during the now famous BBC interview somehow reveal a coded desire to control, direct, and take over the narrative. It is remarkable and frankly predictable how a once celebrated, tender, affectionate engagement interview that captivated millions in 2017 is now being repackaged into a so-called red flag retrospective. This pattern is the Daily Mail's bread and butter. Take ordinary human couple behavior, especially when displayed by a confident woman, and inject layers of suspicion, dominance, manipulation, and villainy, all while relying on cherry-picked interpretations that conveniently suit a storyline they have been committed to for years. The article leans heavily on body language expert Judy James, who seems determined to interpret nearly every small physical interaction between Meghan and Harry as a sign of dominance on Meghan's part. A gentle pat becomes a cue. A smile becomes a silent command. A handhold becomes an encasement technique. And subtle eye contact becomes a directive. What's missing from this analysis is any true context. Meghan was a trained actress who spent years in front of cameras, interviews, and press junkets. She understands presentation because that has been part of her career. Harry, on the other hand, grew up in the rigid, hierarchical world of the royal family, where every word, gesture, and expression is tightly monitored by palace handlers, advisors, and press secretaries. For most of his life, he was told what he should say, how he should say it, and when he should stop. So it is only natural that in this space, an interview about their personal love story, not royal protocol, Meghan would appear more confident, more relaxed, and more expressive. Confidence does not equal control. Demonstrating affection does not prove domination. A woman taking initiative in an interview does not make her a puppeteer. It makes her someone comfortable and emotionally present. The article places exaggerated emphasis on Harry's so-called slumped posture, claiming that his relaxed position is proof of passivity or submission. But anyone who has actually watched the interview knows that Harry appears happy, relaxed, smiling, leaning toward Meghan, and completely at ease. But the Daily Mail reframes this as something dark and ominous, as if a man allowing himself to relax next to the woman he loves is a sign he is being controlled. They ignore the most obvious explanation. Harry felt comfortable enough beside Meghan to release the stiff, formal posture that palace life had drilled into him since birth. And why wouldn't he? It was not a state occasion or a military ceremony. It was his engagement interview, a moment meant to be personal, intimate, and joyful. Yet the Mail twists that joy into passivity and comfort into weakness. The publication then revives one of its favourite long-standing narratives, that Meghan interrupted Harry, contradicted him, redirected him, corrected him, and even warned him through elbow nudges and knee taps. These interpretations strip their relationship of humanity and true partnership, reducing Meghan to a domineering director and Harry to an empty vessel reading lines. But anyone watching without bias sees a couple who are deeply connected, finishing each other's thoughts, exchanging small glances, laughing at private jokes, and navigating the questions together with ease. What the Mail paints as suspicious signals are simply the unspoken languages couples often share. Gestures that come from closeness, from familiarity, from shared experiences. These aren't signs of a sinister director at work. They are signs of two people in sync, caught in a moment of genuine connection that the press now insists on distorting. Then comes the nostalgic rewrite. The idea that in hindsight, this interview was a prophecy of trouble in paradise, the supposed beginning of the end, the first glimpse of Meghan's alleged master plan. The Mail milks this angle aggressively, tying together the engagement interview, the Netflix docuseries, Harry's memoir and Megxit, all to sell the notion that Meghan was acting, performing, manipulating. According to this narrative, everything from her smile to her hand movements was a calculated power play. This retroactive suspicion hinges on a familiar trope, one the British press has recycled for years, that Meghan, the ambitious American outsider, was always the manipulator, while Harry was always the misguided, naive victim. It is a narrative rooted in prejudice, one that consistently casts Meghan as scheming simply for daring to exist with agency, confidence, and a voice of her own. The article also spotlights Meghan's comment that the interview felt like an orchestrated reality show, a remark made years later when reflecting on the immense pressure and palace control she felt at the time. And yet, this sentiment is not controversial. Royal interviews are orchestrated. They are reviewed, arranged, and tightly shaped by palace communications teams who approve questions, tone, and setting. Meghan was describing her experience honestly. Michelle Hussein herself responded with calm understanding, saying, "Recollections may vary." But the Mail takes Meghan's comment and weaponizes it, framing it as an attack on journalism, an insult to the BBC, and evidence of her supposed ingratitude. The truth is far simpler. Meghan was acknowledging the suffocating, performative nature of palace life, a reality many former royals have spoken about. The most ironic layer of the article is its accusation that Meghan's behaviour in the interview appeared insincere. This claim conveniently erases decades of royal media management. Charles and Diana rehearsed their engagement interview. William and Kate rehearsed theirs. Almost every royal couple rehearses. The difference? No one attacked them for it. Meghan is not the first royal fiancée to describe the process as staged, but she is the first to be publicly punished for admitting it. Then comes the predictable resurfacing of old talking points. Meghan's teenage trip to London, her photo outside Buckingham Palace, her supposed fascination with the royal family. The Mail suggests that a single childhood tourist photo is somehow proof of a lifelong strategy to marry into royalty. It is an absurd leap, one that reveals more about the tabloids' desperation to paint Meghan as calculating than about Meghan herself. Millions of teenagers pose outside Buckingham Palace. Millions of tourists admire royalty from afar. Yet only Meghan is accused of scheming because of a snapshot taken in the mid-2000s. In the end, what the Daily Mail accomplishes here is not insight, revelation, or truth. It's repetition. The recycling of an exhausted storyline in which Meghan is controlling, strategic, manipulative, and responsible for every perceived misstep between her and Harry. It is the same narrative that has been sold to the public for nearly a decade, because the tabloids know it sells. Today's article is not investigative journalism. It is simply a fresh coat of paint on a decade-old smear campaign, another attempt to turn harmless, loving moments into headline fodder.